Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to this video where today I'll be talking about furry characters that made me a furry. And I kinda realized something. I have a type. So this is more or less the characters I had a hot for, or at least I really liked it, had a bit of a crush on. Like I didn't really understand why until I got older, and then I realized, oh, it's because I really want them inside me. Or just a good snuggle, you know? I can be innocent too, even though I'm a fox. So, I do want to try and talk about more obscure characters in this video. Not the usual ones like Adult Simba and Scar, which yes, are very daddy material to me. And yes, they're on the list for sure, and I've always loved them. But I want to try and talk about characters that I don't talk about much. Though I will kind of just skim through the obvious characters. Like, yes, Simba, obviously the hair is just mwah. Scar is, well, he's Scar. Lucario was an instant oh my with that design of his. Mewtwo, like, he was so different and unique at the time. Like, those thighs could squish me any day. Of course, there's Star Fox and Star Wolf, even though they looked like this when I was around. But once the GameCube game hit and Star Fox looks like this, oh, he can get it. Oh boy, did he turn into a looker. Yum yum. Oh, I hated that. Of course, there's plenty of Digimon like Flamegemon, like, he is so hot in more ways than one. And then who can forget Mon? And then who can forget Wergurumon? Probably one of the first wolf furry crushes. I mean, how could you not like Wergurumon? He is so cool and I just absolutely wanted to be him and have him as my partner. Just, like, be a furry as cool as him, basically, is what I wanted to be. And he's also as fine as ice cream on a hot day. And then we can't forget the buff, damn Leomon. I don't know why I went like that. I'm not buff, I just have titties. Talking about pecs, basically, yeah. Damn, now that's a daddy lion I want to tame. Speaking of buff, the Ninja Turtles. Seriously, growing up in the 90s was not easy with all the buff goodness around. But yeah, definitely made me a furry watching those four studs. Especially once the 2003 series came into it. And of course, Rocksteady and Bebop in there. But yeah, speaking of the 90s, we have Street Sharks. Like, they're the pinnacle of buff, sexy advo characters. Sure, maybe the sharks isn't for everyone, but those bodies are. Like, maybe you don't like sharks, so then maybe you prefer dinosaurs. Extreme dinosaurs, that is. Because damn, look at those bodies. Pecs and all, like, children of the 90s stood no chance to not be gay and a furry when they grew up watching these buff daddies run around half naked dealing with the bad guys. You know what was also big in the 90s? Wrestling. Wrestling was huge in the 90s. That's when we had, like, all the memorable characters. Like, everyone knows them. Hulk Hogan. Like, yeah. Okay, like, yeah, maybe some of them from the 80s, but, like, yeah, 90s kids. 90s kids knew these guys. Hulk Hogan, The Rock started coming into, I think, either in the 90s or early 2000s. Sting, The Undertaker, Kane, the dude with a sock puppet hand thing who had like a Hannibal Lecter mask on him, the Hardy Brothers, we got Rikishi, and I loved Rikishi. Like wrestling was huge. And yeah, they were all just a bunch of buff dudes. So again, we never stood a chance. And one of those buff dudes is Tekken King. King from Tekken. So yeah, he was one of them that I loved. King was always my go-to, and it's officially my favorite fighting game character in any series. I always loved the way he looked with the mask, and then he also has a tail, and then his boots have little paws on them. That, like, how is he not a furry? He is very much just a partial fursuiter. He is absolutely, definitely part of me wanting to be a furry, because I just wanted to, be like him, basically, because how freaking cool he is, loved his outfit, and just, And it's also me realizing, yeah, I totally have a type. Yep, squishy peck furries. But how about more cool type? Biker mice from Mars. Now these were some cool dudes. Again, just making me more gay in a completely different way. The whole biker love, like, ooh, they're cool, ooh, the piercings and all that. Ooh. It made me just want to live in a furry world where they could exist. They are just so 90s and so damn awesome looking. Again, 90s kids did not stand a chance at not being a furry. But alright, let's move on from the very obvious hotties and talk about more so characters I had a crush on when I was little. Characters that made me want to be in their world. Which, a good example, a different example, is Justin from Secret of Nim. Yeah, I don't know why, but I always had a crush on him. I mean, he was just adorable. I loved his voice in particular and how soothing it was, I guess, something like that. I genuinely really loved Justin, and he was a character I always remembered, even when I forgot about Secret of Nim.
Beautiful.
Ma'am?
The lights.
I never forgot about Justin. And I also never forgot about Jeremy. I do love Jeremy. Now, I'm still going to put him here, but Justin is definitely much more of a furry. But, he's a bird, and, the other one is, an adfo wat. But, at the same time, I'm still going to put him here. He is someone that wanted me to be a bird. Someone I wanted to talk to. Someone who I did have a crush on. I had a crush on Jeremy and Justin at the same time. It was awkward. Next up is definitely a more obscure character. Zippo. Who is Zippo? Well, he is the talking dinosaur from Dinotopia. Yeah, that was pretty much one of the first live-action talking dinosaurs I remember. And yeah, I had a crush on a nerd. I like the nerds. My favorite turtle is Donatello. I apparently really like the nerds. It was a possibility of a world full of talking dinosaurs, and I wanted to be in that world. But yeah, he is definitely one of the early crushes that made me realize I'm a furry. Which there's a realization. I do like my scalies because, yeah, apparently I really do. And then we could also add Godzilla on that list. Now, for one, even as a kid, I understood it's just a dude in a costume. Which is awesome. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be like a cool lizard stomping around cities. He is the king of kaiju for a reason. We all wanted to be him. Well, part of furry is the costumes, so he's definitely more on that side of things of being an inspiration of me wanting to dress up and just be this different character, just stomp around and all that. And what about another lizard dude? Gex. You remember Gex? Man, I would love to have a modern Gex or just a remake or something. Just have a 90s style Gex game again. Been way too long since Gex has been on our screens. But yeah, I loved Gex with his voice and coolness. He was, James Bond, essentially, but for the furries. Definitely a character I love and wanted to be. Alright, well, how about something that I know a few people will understand? A few people understand this. Preed from Titan After Earth. Yeah, I know this guy looks like he smells like alien body odor with that dirty tank top. But he had so much charm. I kinda loved him. Always sad that he turned out to be a villain. But hey, it just means he has a naughty dominant side to him. I don't know. I think I just fell for his charms. And I do love his design. And I had a weird crush on him as a child. But ultimately did make me a furry in the end. Speaking of weird aliens I kinda like, Jar Jar Binks. I'm not going... No, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. This video has kind of just turned into characters I had a weird crush on as a child, but ultimately did make me a furry in the end. And I do realize, yeah, most of them are scalies and buff. So, how am I not a scaly and buff? Well, I guess because that's what I like in furries, and that's what I kind of want, I guess. It's not so much what I want to be, it's more so what I want to do. Hell, you want to add another weird one on there? Imperfect Cell. Sure, he has the vor quality there, and that's probably kind of helped me with the whole furry thing, and it helped me in other ways. Which also is very much with the furry community and furry things, because vor is very much a furry thing. It's not. It's very much all over the place. But it's also very much yeah, you gotta find vor in the furry fandom. So it could go there. And then if you want to go there, sure, Scooby-Doo. Because let's be real, we all want the friendship Shaggy and Scooby have. And that might be possible in the furry world. That's what I was kind of saying there. You know, the idea of just a talking animal in a furry world, you know, that sounds awesome. So that's this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I will admit, there's definitely more characters out there that I can't quite remember, but I do remember Justin, Preed, Zippo. Some characters do just stick with you. And if there's anything I've realized making this video, I really, really have a type. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Let me know a character that made you a furry, or just like one that is just random, like Preed or Zippo. Let me know down below. That's what will definitely intrigue me. And don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel because I'll love you if you do. Hit that bell icon, and VitoFox says, be who you want to be. Alright, guys. Bye for now.